TikTok ban, the Hollywood Three appointed to change Hollywood, and the coming of Black Monday. This is what I'm going to discuss today on A World Gone Mad. Hello, I'm your host, Jeff Allen Wolf. Welcome to another episode of A World Gone Mad Podcast, Season 2, Episode 53. Thank you for joining me, and especially a shout out to the new Blue Sky people who have started to listen to the podcast. I see you. I hear you. You've been emailing me and calling me on the toll-free number and texting me, and I thank you for your support and comments. I'll give everyone the contact information on how to reach me in a little while, but first, let's talk TikTok. First, for those of you uninitiated to what TikTok is, here's a brief overview. TikTok is a social media app that allows users to create, share, and watch short videos. Users can create videos using their mobile devices or their webcams and share them with a community. TikTok is usually associated with younger people. Now, what is TikTok used for? Users can express themselves through singing, dancing, comedy, and lip syncing. Users can create personalized feeds of short videos set to music and sound effects. And of course, that's just some of the things TikTok is used for, and it has more than young users on there. That's just a general overview. TikTok also has many negative perceptions. Some negative thoughts that people have said about TikTok are some of the following. Unrealistic beauty standards. Videos that promote unrealistic beauty standards can lead to body dissatisfaction, low self-esteem, and eating disorders. Addiction. Addictive use of TikTok can lead to worse mental health conditions, including depression, anxiety, and stress. Procrastination. Excessive use of TikTok can lead to procrastination, lack of focus, and poor time management skills. Misinformation. TikTok can be rife with dangerous misinformation. Negative comparison. The constant comparison to idealized images on TikTok can make people think they are inadequate. Now, of course, those are not my comments or my statements. That's just a general overview and a consensus what a lot of people have said about TikTok pro and con. TikTok, whose mainland Chinese and Hong Kong counterpart is Douyin. This is a Chinese short-form video hosting service owned by Chinese internet company ByteDance. Now, the app has faced accusations that user data is ending up in the hands of the Chinese government. The President Biden administration said that the app posed a grave national security threat because of these ties to China. Now, TikTok had a controversial ban placed on it, and the Supreme Court ruled today, Friday, that that ban on TikTok may in fact take effect this weekend, and they rejected an appeal from the popular app's owners that claimed the ban violated the First Amendment. Now, the court handed down an unsigned opinion, and there were no noted dissents. Now, of course, Donald, Mr. President-elect, had to jump in, and he said the decision is his, not the court's. And just to let you know where Donald's mindset is, sitting on the dais at his inauguration Monday, besides several other billionaires, will also be the owner of TikTok. I wonder what that means. So with all that being said, how do you, the Wolfpack listener, feel about TikTok? What is your opinion of TikTok then? And what's your opinion of TikTok at the present? I personally thought TikTok was a bunch of silly stuff with a mixture of lunatics from all over the world and normal people mixed in. I do have my podcast posted there. I haven't really engaged in a while. And by the way, now they're talking about a rumor that Elon Musk may purchase TikTok. Oh, Lord, we go deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, don't we? So the clock is ticking on TikTok, so to speak. Hey, let's alert the media. We now have the Hollywood Big Three power brokers. That's right. President-elect Trump appoints Jon Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone to revamp Hollywood? Look, my initial reaction when I heard this was, what? Huh? What? Seriously? Why are you even bothering as president-elect to do this appointment? Just to be in the public eye, Donald? Just to make another Donald intrusion into our country? Look, here are some interesting insights to those big three that Donald is appointing. Let's talk Jon Voight. According to Voight himself, his earlier political leanings were a terrible, terrible mistake and the fault of those dastardly brainwashing socialists. I was caught up in this hysteria during the Vietnam era, Voight wrote in 2008 in an op-ed for the Washington Times. It was brought about through Marxist propaganda underlying the so-called peace movement. Voight added that America's Democratic Party deliberately targets young people. He says, knowing how easy it is to bring forth whatever is needed to program their minds. And Voight is one of the big three appointed by Donald to transform Hollywood. Let's talk number 2, Mel Gibson. Gibson is a well-known Jew hater. Anti-Semite is too mild. His prejudices are well documented, shouting racial slurs of people he works with on movie sets. He is the ultimate racist bigot in Hollywood. This is documented, and he was banned, and you haven't seen him for a while. And he's number 2 on Donald the Delusional's list to transform Hollywood. Bringing up the rear, last but not least, Sylvester Stallone. I don't have a lot of negative things that I want to say about him, except when I read his thoughts about Donald Trump. Pay close attention, please. Now get close. If you're wearing headphones, you're fine, but if you're near your speakers, move closer. You're going to want to hear this. Sylvester Stallone called President-elect Donald Trump the second George Washington while introducing the former president at a gala. The actor, during an America First policy gala in Palm Beach, Florida, said this and compared Trump to his own character in Rocky, saying, this man Rocky was going to go through a metamorphosis and change lives, just like President Trump. He added, we're in the presence of a really mythical character. Nobody in the world could have pulled off what he pulled off. So I'm in awe, Sly Stallone said. What the bloody hell? So draw your own conclusions. Jon Voight, Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, asked by Donald the Delusional One to transform Hollywood into a golden age again. So this is the latest idea from President-elect Trump. Imagine what his other ideas will be January 20th, moving forward. Let's get serious. 3 days before Black Monday, this Monday, Donald the Delusional One, Donald the wannabe dictator, President-elect Donald Trump officially becomes the president January 20th. What are your plans as a listener? Are you going to wear black? There's a movement around that has everyone wearing black that day or for the week to show unity. Are you going to stay off social media? Are you going to sit in a corner maybe somewhere and cry? What exactly are you going to do moving forward in our country? Are you going to renew your passport? Are you going to get a passport for the first time? Thinking about moving out of a red state to another state? Maybe moving out of the country? The full frontal onslaught starts Monday, and it's going to be ugly, and it's going to get personal, and it will affect each and every one of us. And unfettered Donald Trump and his cabinet and his MAGA supporters running rampant across the ideals and democracy of this country. I'll probably wear black to show unity. Turning off the TV, I don't know. I don't see that affecting anything, and if anybody doesn't like my decision on that, I'm sorry. But as someone who does a podcast 3 times a week, I kind of have to stay up with the news to see if anything unusual happens. So time for you, the listeners' feedback. There are 3 ways to reach me, to tell me what you're going to do, and any comments you have on this episode or any comments at all about the podcast. Email wolfpacklistener@gmail.com, WOLFPACK listener@gmail. Several of the apps you use, like on Buzzsprout and other places, have an ability that allow you to text me in the middle of the podcast. You could stop it at any time, leave a text, and then continue listening. If you have that feature, use it. You could reach me here on Blue Sky, where I'm at, and leave me a comment. And if you need my link to Blue Sky, email me. I'll give you the link. I have a toll-free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week phone number. You can use it in the United States and Canada. It's just a voicemail system. No one is going to pick up the phone. 833-399-9653. The diehard Facebook users have been using all of these things, not as much the phone calls. But Blue Sky, come on, blow it up. Contact me, give me a comment, show me how diehard of a supporter you are as a Democrat, and some of your plans share with me, and I will share it with the audience in an upcoming episode. Now my family, and you, the listening audience, are bracing for a piece-by-piece destruction of our country. We don't know how deep this is going to go. How much Donald will cater to Putin, or other dictators for that fact, is yet to be determined. And again, let's remind ourselves, Donald is 78 years old, in a couple of months soon to be 79. Now, that doesn't mean that age has anything to do with this. I've said before, people in their 70s and 80s can be sharper than people in their 30s and 40s and much wiser. You know this. But Donald has shown slippage in the last year mentally and is going to get worse. And he's in charge of our country and the nuclear weapons and et cetera, yada, yada. You get my point. I'm genuinely scared. And I don't see any tools or people to hold him accountable anymore, short of some sort of miracle happening. Wolfpack listeners and all of America, we need to brace ourselves. I said this the last episode, I'm going to repeat it. It's gonna be a bumpy, hellish ride. I'll leave you with this footnote. It was announced today President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration will be moved indoors. He announced this early today due to dangerously cold temperatures projected in the nation's capital. I have ordered the inauguration address, in addition to prayers and other speeches, to be delivered in the United States Capitol Rotunda, as was used by Ronald Reagan in 1985, also because of very cold weather, Trump posted on his Truth Social. I think he wants to hide how small the crowds will actually be. Brilliant idea. But Donald, why didn't you think of this last time? I'll be back Monday with another episode of A World Gone Mad. I'm your host, Jeff Allen Wolf. Until then, really, please try to stay hopeful.